Chapter 506. The Divine General Arrives. The black-haired man radiated killing intent as he stared at Wu Yu with his red eyes. He had not taken it seriously when Jian Wushuang blocked in front of Wu Yu. "Get out of my way!" The black-haired man growled while slapping at Jian Wushuang as if he was shooing flies. Jian Wushuang wore a flinty look as he immediately reacted. As he clenched his right hand, a mighty power flowed through his arm and gathered in his fist. Bang! A deep collision was heard and the black-haired man immediately retreated. How is this possible? The black-haired man was surprised. He could not believe that he himself, a Cloud Realm demonic beast, was defeated by a Saint Realm human warrior in a confrontation based on pure strength. He had been unable to show his full strength because of serious injuries when he was besieged in the Green Hillock tribe, but this human warrior was more seriously injured than he was. .bg container 63275 CC1F display, flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647, important demonic beast bastard. This roar caused the black-haired man to be filled with despair. Wu Yuan, like a furious lion, appeared beside the black-haired man and threw a punch at his head. The black-haired man was unable to resist, so his head exploded, killing him without a doubt. Wu Yuan quickly moved in front of Jian Wushuang and asked, "Little brother Wushuang, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Jian Wushuang coughed. He had gained the upper hand in that confrontation, but it had still caused his injury to worsen because the black-haired man's attack caused his blood to surge through his body. Wu Yuan said in a gravelly voice, "It was my mistake. I didn't expect that monster spy to be hiding his strength." "Little brother Wushuang, you're very powerful. Even as a Saint Realm expert with serious injuries, you were able to block a Cloud Realm monster spy. You must have an amazing body." Wu Yuan could not hold back his praise. It was rare to see such a powerful body in the monster continent. "Big brother Wushuang, thanks." Wu Yu looked at Jian Wushuang with gratitude. Jian Wushuang smiled. "Okay, since the monster spy has been killed, everyone can leave." After Wu Yuan spoke, numerous clansmen obeyed his order and left. "Qing Hu." Wu Yuan looked over at Qing Hu. "You were good just now." Wu Yuan noticed that Qing Hu immediately tried to block with his long spear when the monster spy charged toward Wu Yu. It was hard for a 15-year-old teenager to have such quick and reliable reactions in a pinch. Qing Hu stroked his head while grinning. "Don't be too proud. The monster spy was at the Cloud Realm. Even though he was injured, you were still incapable of fighting him. If Wushuang had not come to help, you would have been killed." Qing Hu lowered his head involuntarily. "All right, I don't want to blame you, but you should remember to only do what you're able to do next time. You're the strongest youth in our tribe and your father is our hero. If you die, I won't be able to give him an explanation," Wu Yuan said. "Yes." Qing Hu nodded. "Speaking of your father, he sent a message to me not long ago. He might return in a few days, so you'll get to see him soon," Wu Yuan added. "Really?" Qing Hu looked up with excitement. "Get prepared for it. Your father seldom comes back, so this is your chance to show him what you have learned over these years," Wu Yuan said with a smile. Okay. Qing Hu nodded. He was overwhelmed with excitement. Qing Hu's father. Jian Wushuang was surprised. He knew that Qing Hu's father was the tribe hero and a divine general of the Monster Exterminating League, who had battled with demonic beasts and only returned once every several years. A divine general from the Monster Exterminating League. It's said that only a top expert in the Cloud Realm is qualified to take up this post. I wonder how powerful he is. Jian Wushuang thought with a hint of expectation. It was still peaceful in the Wu Yang tribe. The humans were united as one and rarely had conflicts with each other. Even when there was a conflict, it would be settled peacefully, so fierce fighting between two tribes was rarely seen. After sitting on the bed all night, Jian Wushuang finally opened his eyes. "My strength has reached its peak." Jian Wushuang's eyes radiated a flicker of delight. He had stayed in the monster continent for a dozen days already. Aided by his own recovery ability and vitality elixirs, he had fully recovered. Only now that his strength had made a full recovery could he be confident in doing what he wanted. Uncle Qing Hua is back. Uncle Qing Hua is back. A loud voice instantly shook the entire tribe. Uncle Qing Hua? Qing Hu's father? Jian Wushuang frowned. He immediately walked out of his tent and headed for the drill ground. Jian Wushuang saw a middle-aged man in a black suit standing in the sky, surrounded by many clansmen. The middle-aged man, with stubble on his face, was casually chatting with Wu Yuan and Qing Hu. The other clansmen on the drill ground were looking at him in admiration. He was their hero. They were proud of him. Seven Cloud Realm. Jian Wushuang recognized the middle-aged man's level. As I expected, divine generals are experts over the Seven Cloud Realm. Jian Wushuang thought. A Seven Cloud Realm expert was equivalent to a marquis in the divine land. Here, human warriors had powerful bodies, so their strength was superior to warriors from the divine land when they were at the same level. Father, look at me, Qing Hu said in a low voice. A long spear appeared in his hand. Then he violently stabbed at the space in front of him. The strike contained a mighty power and caused a loud air-piercing sound. Chapter 507, Bone Fusion Technique. The power of that attack has already reached the Saint Realm. Jian Wushuang thought privately. A hail of exclamations rose from the crowd. Qing Hua's eyes lit up. Very good. When I was 16, I had only mastered level 2 of the bone fusion technique, but you're only 15 and have already reached this level. On this point, you're stronger than me. Yep, Qing Hu said with somewhat pride. Dad, I'll become divine general, just like you. I will definitely be stronger than you. Ha ha. The group of people laughed. Okay, but seriously, leader, I have something to tell you, Qing Hua said soberly. Let's talk inside, Wu Yuan replied. Then they all glided toward the tent. The clansmen also left. Little Yu, Qing Hua just mentioned the bone fusion technique. What is it? Jian Wushuang asked. Wu Yu immediately responded, it's a body reshaping technique that our clansmen practice from childhood. It can help us improve in both body and strength. I have also practiced this technique, but I'm still weaker than Qing Hu and haven't reached level 1. Qing Hu had already succeeded at my age. BG container 63275 CC1F display, flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important a body reshaping technique that improves body and strength. Jian Wushuang was surprised and asked, Little Yu, may I read it? Of course. Wu Yu nodded and pointed forward. There it is. Jian Wushuang saw a pitch-black stone tablet standing on the edge of the drill ground. He had never noticed this stone tablet ever since he arrived here. The bone fusion technique is carved on that stone tablet. Jian Wushuang wore an odd look. He walked toward the stone tablet with Wu Yu. On the stone tablet, he saw many tightly packed small characters carved on it. The technique, bone fusion, was comprised of thousands of characters and was divided into 4 levels. A technique is exhibited here? Jian Wushuang was astonished and then asked, Little Yu, can I practice this technique? Its first 4 levels are widely spread throughout the monster continent. Many clansmen have cultivated this technique, so it's okay if you want to practice. Big brother Wushuang, since your body is so powerful, haven't you practiced a similar technique before? Wu Yu wondered. My father said we can only practice one technique like this. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. He had a powerful body because of the heavenly creation skill and his own cultivation. He had never practiced a body reshaping technique that could improve his body strength. Actually, the heavenly creation skill, which was related to spiritual power, was only a cultivation method. I don't know whether this technique will work for me, but I have to try. Jian Wushuang thought while looking at the stone tablet. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate. He sat with his legs crossed and started to practice the first level of the bone fusion technique. Wu Yu waited by his side. Bone fusion technique was a special skill for cultivating bones. Jian Wushuang had never heard of it in the divine land. The practitioner's own body affected his cultivation speed. The more powerful the body was, the more easily the practitioner would improve. After a while, Jian Wushuang realized that he had reached level 1 of the bone fusion technique. So easy. Jian Wushuang smiled, but he was not surprised. His body was comparable to a superior second-grade magic weapon. Even the Cloud Realm monster spy's body was inferior to his. For his body, practicing this technique was as easy as drinking water. He began to practice level 2 of the bone fusion technique. He also succeeded in reaching level 2 with ease. Level 3 and level 4 were also as easy as pie for him. Jian Wushuang felt a change in his body. This feels great. My body is. Jian Wushuang realized that his body had become 3 times stronger than before. 3 times. Gosh. Jian Wushuang was totally stunned. He had wondered whether this technique would be helpful to him, but it gave him a big surprise after he reached level 4. How powerful he was now. I feel like I'm stronger than those Cloud Realm experts in the Divine Land, Jian Wushuang said, then sighed. He was only in the Saint Realm. Owing to the heavenly creation skill, his spiritual power was superior to other experts at the same level, but much weaker than Cloud Realm experts. However, with his spiritual power and body strength, he could fight against Cloud Realm experts. Nevertheless, he was able to fight a Cloud Realm expert by only using his body strength now. Aided by his spiritual power, he was more powerful than an ordinary Cloud Realm expert. It meant that if he, a Saint Realm expert with 7 origin marks, exerted his full strength, he could defeat a 7 Cloud Realm expert. That wasn't even counting his sword soul. It only took a short while for Jian Wushuang to reach level 4 of the bone fusion technique and improve exponentially. I know the 4th level is not the highest. Jian Wushuang stared at the characters on the stone tablet. The 4th level was not the end of bone fusion technique, but the higher levels were not carved on the stone tablet. Chapter 508. Catch him. Where is the rest of this technique? Jian Wushuang thought with a flicker of desire in his eyes. Since he was able to reach level 4 with ease, it would be easy for him to master level 5 and level 6. That meant he still had more room to improve his body and strength. While Jian Wushuang was absorbed in cultivation, Wu Yuan and Qing Hue were walking towards the drill ground, accompanied by many clansmen. Leader, I brought back level 5 and level 6 of the bone fusion technique. I'll carve the level 5 manual onto the stone tablet. As for level 6, it's precious, so I'll give it to you. Leader, if our clansmen master level 5, you can give them the level 6 manual, Qing Hue said. Okay, I think that's good. Wu Yuan nodded. I'll accept it. Qing Hue, we'll all benefit from the 2 manuals you brought back. Thanks. For our tribe and the entire human population, this is what I should do. Qing Hue causally waved his hand. They quickly arrived at the stone tablet, just in time to see Jian Wushuang practicing the bone fusion technique. Little brother Wushuang? Wu Yuan was astonished. He's practicing the bone fusion technique? He has a powerful body and is considered terrifying among warriors at the same level. Hasn't he already practiced a body reshaping technique? Did he just start practicing level 1? Qing Hue wore a bemused expression. Human warriors from the monster continent usually exercised from birth. When their body became strong enough, they started to practice body reshaping technique, which was usually around the age of 7. .bg container 63275 CC1F display, flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important therefore, it was odd for them to see Jian Wushuang practicing this technique at the age of 20. Leader, who is he? Qing Hue asked. He's Jian Wushuang, Wu Yuan replied. Not long ago, his tribe was exterminated by another tribe. He had been chased out by his enemy and fainted in the back of the mountain. You have found him and brought him back. It's strange. Several days ago, we caught a Cloud Realm monster spy. Because of my mistake, the spy almost hurt Yue and Qing Hue. Fortunately, he blocked the attack in time. His body is already very powerful, but he hasn't practiced a body reshaping technique. Wu Yuan frowned. Hearing this, Qing Hua's face fell. Jian Wushuang stopped his cultivation when Wu Yuan and Qing Hua noticed that Jian Wushuang had reached level 4 of the bone fusion technique. He has reached the 4th level in such a short time. It should be easy for him to reach level 5 or even level 6, but why hasn't he practiced a body reshaping technique before? Qing Hua narrowed his eyes. Catch him! Qing Hua growled. The clansmen behind him rushed forward even though they were puzzled about what was happening. Jian Wushuang, who had reached level 4, was in a celebratory mood, but as he saw clansmen dashing toward him, he was stunned. He looked over at Wu Yuan and Qing Hua. Leader Wu Yuan, you. Qing Hua. Wu Yuan frowned at Qing Hua. More and more monster spies are hiding within the human population. A monster spy was killed several days ago, but there's already another. Qing Hua stared at Jian Wushuang. Father, you mean Big Brother Wushuang is a monster spy? How is this possible? Qing Hu said while shaking his head. No. Big Brother Wushuang is a human. How could he be a demonic beast? Wu Yu cried. You two kids know nothing. Little Yu, come here quickly. Qing Hua said in a gravelly voice. Wu Yu was dragged aside by the other clansmen even though she was reluctant. Jian Wushuang was besieged by the clansmen who were holding weapons. As the divine general of the Monster Exterminating League, Qing Hua was their tribe hero, so those clansmen would not doubt his words. Wait a moment. Stop, Wu Yuan ordered. He glanced at Jian Wushuang with a hint of suspicion, but he said, Qing Hua, don't rush to a conclusion. We'd better check first. Every human warrior starts to practice a body reshaping technique in their childhood, but he has never practiced a body reshaping technique before and already has such a powerful body. If he is not a demonic beast, what is he? Qing Hua responded in an icy tone. But this is not enough to confirm he is a demonic beast, Wu Yuan said with a frown. We don't know where he comes from. Qing Hua gave the young man a flinty look and said in a low voice, Boy, you said that your tribe was destroyed by others and that you were being hunted by your enemy when you fainted at the back of the mountain. Then where are you from? Which tribe was hunting you? Although he felt aggrieved, Jian Wushuang had to admit that Qing Hua had reasonable grounds. The human warrior in the monster continent would have practiced a body reshaping technique since childhood, while Jian Wushuang, who had such a powerful body, started to cultivate this technique just now. It did not make sense. Furthermore, Jian Wushuang came from the Divine Land, where he had no access to body reshaping techniques. He lied about his origin because he did not want anyone to know that he came from somewhere outside of the monster continent. So how could he tell them the name of his tribe and enemy? I'm not a monster spy, Jian Wushuang said. Don't argue for yourself. Qing Hua said coldly while the other clansmen vigilantly stared at Jian Wushuang. Go invite Elder Water. A clansman followed Wu Yuan's order and left. Dad, Big Brother Wushuang was not a monster spy. Definitely not. Wu Yu looked at Wu Yuan with a pathetic look. Don't worry. Wait for Elder Water to arrive and everything will be made clear. If he isn't, I won't do him an injustice, Wu Yuan said. Wu Yu no longer spoke. Jian Wushuang remained silent with a wry look. Elder Water quickly arrived. Chapter 509, Sparring with Qing Hua. Elder Water, please, Wu Yuan said modestly. Elder Water nodded slightly and looked over at Jian Wushuang. A strange light flashed in his eyes. This light contained special magic which would cause a monster spy to show its true form. All the clansmen watched nervously. Once they confirmed that Jian Wushuang was a demonic beast, they would kill him without hesitation. Obviously, Jian Wushuang was not a demonic beast. He did not change even a bit before the strange light dissipated. Elder Water let out a sigh and turned to look at Wu Yuan and Qing Hua. This boy is a real human warrior, not a monster spy. Qing Hu and Wu Yu felt relieved. Father, I said Big Brother Wushuang is not a monster spy, Qing Hu spoke. That's right, Wu Yu added. Wu Yuan looked over at Jian Wushuang and said apologetically, Little brother Wushuang, I'm sorry for wronging you. BG container 632750E1F display. Flex direction. Column align items. Center justify content. Center Z index. 214-748-3647. Important. Qing Hua furrowed his eyebrows. It was out of his expectations, but after realizing he was wrong, he immediately apologized to the young man. Wushuang, my friend, I was too rash. Sorry, Qing Hua said. Jian Wushuang glanced at Qing Hua in surprise. He did not intend to blame this hero because his suspicion was reasonable. Actually, he had a good impression of this divine general. It was only with great virtue that someone would be able to correct themselves after doing something wrong. It was rare that a divine general could deign to apologize to a Saint Realm expert. Since it's only a misunderstanding, there's no need to apologize, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Wu Yuan and Qing Hua smiled at each other and the tense atmosphere eased. Little brother Wushuang, why did you start practicing body reshaping technique just now? Wu Yuan wondered. This is... Jian Wushuang was deep in thought and did not know how to respond. He could not tell Wu Yuan that he came from another plane world. Wu Yuan noticed the young man's embarrassment and said with a smile, everyone has their own special circumstances and secrets. You don't have to tell us if you're reluctant. Jian Wushuang shrugged his shoulders with resignation. Wushuang, our leader said you had a powerful body and had forced a Cloud Realm spy to retreat even before you practiced the bone fusion technique, Qing Hua said in a kind voice. Now that you've reached level 4 of the bone fusion technique, you must be even more powerful, right? I'm curious to see how strong your body is. If you don't mind, would you like to spar with me? Spar? Jian Wushuang was intrigued. He had just arrived at the monster continent. Though he knew that human warriors here were more powerful than warriors at the same level from the divine land, he was not clear on how powerful they were and what to expect if he had not had a fight with them, and it just so happened that he needed an opponent to test his own strength. As a 7-Cloud Realm expert and a divine general, Qing Hua was an appropriate opponent for him. Since Master Qing Hua is willing to teach me some moves, I'd like to, Jian Wushuang said. Ha ha, good. Now, let's fight just using our body's strength, Qing Hua responded with a smile. After all, he had reached the 7-Cloud Realm. He did not want to fight Jian Wushuang by using his cultivation of spiritual power, because he thought it would be bullying if he did. Jian Wushuang and Qing Hua reappeared up in the air, standing hundreds of feet apart. Master Qing Hua, be careful. Jian Wushuang reminded him. Make your move, Qing Hua said confidently, with his hands still behind his back. He had reached level 5 of the bone fusion technique, so he thought that he was stronger than Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang changed into a streak of flowing light and charged forward. Jian Wushuang quickly appeared in front of the divine general. Then he clenched his hands and a mighty power gathered in his fist. He only used his body strength to launch this punch at his opponent. Rumble. The strike pierced through the air, humming violently. Qing Hua also threw a pure punch which contained an overwhelming power, but he only exerted 70% of strength because he was worried he might hurt the young man. The two punches collided with each other as if two huge meteors had smashed into each other. Pang! Their terrifying power pressed against each other and let out an explosive sound. Whoosh! Qing Hua shot back like a cannonball. He only regained his balance after retreating 1,000 feet. How is this possible? Qing Hua looked over at the young man who had not been affected by his attack. He did not expect to be forced to retreat in that confrontation. I lost ground. Qing Hua felt it was unbelievable. Normally, a Saint Realm expert like this young man would be unable to deflect his attack even though he had only used 70% of his strength. However, Jian Wushuang not only parried it, he also forced his opponent to retreat. Wushuang, you're stronger than I expected. It seems that I'm not your match if I only used 70% of my strength. This time I'll use my full strength, Qing Hua said solemnly. You only used 70% of your strength. It's the same for me, Jian Wushuang said and grinned. What? Qing Hua was shocked. It was the truth. Jian Wushuang only exerted 70% of his strength with that initial attack. As for the result, he was not surprised. Chapter 510, Admiration. As I expected, my body is stronger than Qing Hua's after I reached level 4 of the bone fusion technique.
Jian Wushuang thought.
Although Qing Hua had reached level 5 of the bone fusion technique, Jian Wushuang already had a heaven-defying body before it was strengthened by the bone fusion technique, so he was able to fight against 7 Cloud Realm experts from the Divine Land just by using body strength after he reached level 4. Qing Hua was inferior to the young man in body strength. Next, I'll use 80% of my strength, Jian Wushuang said with a gush of killing intent in his eyes. He charged forward once again. Qing Hua swung his huge fist with his full strength and punched at the young man. Pang! This time, they were both forced to retreat. Come on! Jian Wushuang said with a hint of excitement in his eyes. He dashed forward and attacked with 90% of his strength. Pang! As for the third confrontation, Qing Hua retreated awkwardly. That meant Jian Wushuang had the upper hand. .bg container 63275 CC1F display. Flex direction, column align items, center justify content, center Z index, 214-748-3647. Important Master Qing Hua, you are unable to defeat me with only your body strength.
Use your full power.
Jian Wushuang spoke confidently.
Use my full power.
Qing Hua was intrigued and nodded. Okay, be careful. A 7 Cloud Realm aura suddenly swept out as a black long spear appeared in the Divine General's hand. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly as an overwhelming aura flowed out and radiated from him. His triple kill sword also appeared in his hand. Shua! Shua! 2 streaks of light flashed across the sky as they battled again. Clang! 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 The fierce confrontation caused loud booms to reverberate through the entire drill ground as violent waves of power flowed outward. It shook the entire tribe. Countless clansmen walked out of their tents to watch this fight. Uncle Qing Hua is fighting with the newcomer, Jian Wushuang. How is that possible? Jian Wushuang is just a Saint Realm expert. How is he qualified to fight Uncle Qing Hua? He even seems to be holding the upper hand. Master Qing Hua is losing ground. Those clansmen were dumbfounded when they saw that Qing Hua was at a disadvantage even though he was using his full power. Big Brother Wushuang is so powerful? My father is unable to beat him. Qing Hu grasped his long spear while staring at them. Wu Yu also widened her eyes and watched the fight. Hua! A brilliant streak of sword light rushed forward, carrying a decisive and unwavering intent. It was the second move of heart-killing sword technique, desperation. Qing Hua instantly brandished his long spear and violently stabbed towards the incoming attack. Clang! The 2 strikes crashed, causing an immaterial wave to flow out. Qing Hua was beaten back once again. Stop, stop, Qing Hua said with a wry smile. He withdrew his long spear and stopped fighting. Jian Wushuang followed him and landed on the ground. Wushuang, you're very powerful. You have my admiration, Qing Hua said, then sighed. Master Qing Hua, I appreciate your kindness. Jian Wushuang responded modestly, but he was delighted in his heart. He gained a lot from this fight and also had a better understanding about the strength of warriors from Monster Continent as well as his own. Human warriors from the Monster Continent really were more powerful than warriors from the Divine Land. Qing Hua was a 7 Cloud Realm expert, but his battle strength could be compared to Marquis Zizhong, who had reached the 8 Cloud Realm and had a Dao weapon. Although the long spear Qing Hua used was just a first-grade magic weapon, his body was stronger than Marquis Zizhong, so Qing Hua would be evenly matched with that Marquis. My body strength improved greatly after I reached level 4 of the bone fusion technique. I was able to gain ground just using my strength and swordsmanship, but there are more skills that I still haven't displayed.
Jian Wushuang thought.
Once he used the power of his sword soul, his strength would reach a new level, let alone his Azura secret skill, realm techniques, and the heart-killing sword. I don't need to fear battling with an 8 Cloud Realm Divine General, even if it's a real fight.
Jian Wushuang thought.
Wushuang, can I talk with you alone?
Qing Hua spoke.
Jian Wushuang nodded even though he did not know what Qing Hua wanted to discuss.
Sure.
Please. Qing Hua and Jian Wushuang walked toward the tent. After entering the tent, They both sat by a long narrow table. Qinghua waved his hand and took out some wine and fruits. Jian Wushuang poured himself a drink, then sniffed it and was about to drink. My little friend, if my guess is right, you don't belong to our monster continent, right? Qinghua asked casually. Jian Wushuang froze and looked over at the divine general in astonishment. Qinghua guessed his origin so easily? Hey. Qinghua smiled faintly. You have a powerful body, but you had not practiced a body reshaping technique before you came to our tribe, which is impossible for any human warrior from our continent. You're not a demonic beast, but you can't tell me about your circumstances. So I guessed that you must have come from outside of our continent. As a divine general, Qinghua had never been anywhere outside of the monster continent, but he had heard that there were other plane worlds out there,